I am very, very honored that you would come and listen to me speak today, and I want you to know that. What I want to talk to you today about is love. Love as a medicine. And I know that Native people know about medicine. And I'm speaking on that level about love being a medicine. All peoples on this planet, on planet Earth, we have all felt a great deal of injury. We have all been enormously injured. There is not one human being on this planet, there is not one culture, one race, any group of people, I don't care, socio-economic, age, male, female, everyone has suffered injury on this planet. No one escaped it. No one got away. And just so that we can put to close a myth, no, white people did not get away. Everybody got injured. Okay? Part of what we have undergone in our walk, on our journey on this planet, is to believe that somehow, by virtue of their position and their stance and their walk and their power and their control, that they were somehow out of the loop of the injury. But it is exactly what they have done with their walk and their journey and how they've held things that highlight the fact that, yes, they are injured. And so are we. What we have to come to understand is, what is this injury and what is it doing to all of our people? What is the nature of it? Where does it come from? And how do we cope with it? How do we deal with it? Because one thing that we must really understand, and I don't think that anyone in this room can deny it, this injury is killing us. It's killing the human race. Culture by culture, it's killing everybody. And how we know what an incredible job it's doing in its destruction is it's killing our children. When something, anything, energy, human being, goes after the children, you know we are in trouble. They are our future. They are our most precious aspect of beingness. It is our job as adults to protect our children. And because of this injury, we are not protecting our children. We hardly know how to protect ourselves. We don't know what to do with this. It comes in the form of all the different dynamics that take away life, that drain the life force from us. In the work that I do in my walk, so that we can simplify and get a picture of how this works. Love is the medicine. That much we know. And as human beings, we know frightfully little about love, the very thing that we are made of, the very thing that is going to save the human race, the very thing that's going to save the planet, we have very little information about, and we don't have a relationship with it. What we do have a relationship with, what we know enormous amounts about, is fear. So if love is the medicine that heals, fear is the illness that kills. Okay? That is what we're up against. We're up against an illness. It's an actual illness. And once you start to perceive it that way, then you can begin to get a handle on, so what do we know about illness? But it's the nature of the illness that makes it escape our perception. We're so used to being afraid that we don't look at it as being something out of the ordinary. We can be literally afraid to get up in the morning, afraid to go do our walk, afraid to go to work, afraid for our children, afraid about our bodies, afraid about our minds, afraid about our future, afraid about our past. And we can do all of these symphonies of fear in the course of a day and have no idea what fear as an illness is costing us every time we contemplate it, every time we feel it, every time we sit in it, every time we act out in it. That's how we spread it, you see. Think of it as an illness. Illness, it's contagious. You can spread it. And that's how we do it. When we act out in our fear towards each other, then we're spreading the illness. And one of the things that we do consistently is that we infect our children. We infect our children because we act out of the illness of fear. How does fear look? How does the illness look? Well, anything that is not supportive of a human being's journey, anything that does not support your wholeness, your walk, your joy, your honor, your respect, your integrity, your beingness, anything that takes away from you on a mental level, on an emotional level, on a physical level, on a spiritual level, anything that pulls away from your stability, your knowingness about who you are and your walk, those are aspects of this illness. And we have tons of them. All of the dysfunctions. And we know these, our alcoholism, our drug abuse, our child abuse, all of our illnesses, our cancers, our AIDS, all of the digestive stuff that we have, the overeating, the undereating. All of those dysfunctions, those aspects of imbalance in our lives, those are all aspects of fear. In our society, they would have you believe that it's something other than that. So, for example, when we get physically sick, well, it's about something else. It's about the body dysfunctioning and going through something quite separate from who you are, how you're feeling, how you're walking your life. And so we go to a separate place for it. You know, in this society, we go to doctors to take care of the body. Meanwhile, what the body is on about is the fear that the person that houses the body is carrying. This fear is common, it's generic. It's the one thing, this is very fascinating, that binds all of us, all of the cultures, all of the hoops. We're all bound together in fear. And it's not a pretty experience, because fear, as an injury, it binds us, but it separates us. So we're all bound by something that keeps us separate from each other, but we're bound by the fact that we all have it, we all do it, we all participate in it. As Native people, I know that you know that the walk on this planet is about wholeness. It's about all the hoops that are coming together, that we don't get out of this walk separate, that there is something so big that has to happen to bring this about. We know this. And yet when we look at it with our eyes in present time today, it doesn't look good. It seems as if we're more separate with no way to get to each other. But what if the way to get to each other, and let's start with just two people, the way to get to each other in relationship to our children, the way to get to each other in relationship to our partners, the way to get to each other is in relationship to our friends, our community, the places that we work. What if the way to get to each other in a healthy way is about getting to ourselves? What if the key thing here is if we heal our own self, that will allow us then to move in a healed way towards each other. We have not been taught that we can do that. We've always had to rely on people outside of us to help us. And cultures of color have been particularly bombarded with people just loving to help us with help we really don't need. Because what we need is inside of us. And nobody outside can come and tell you what you need to heal your inside. That's your story. That's your walk. That's your truth. But because, as cultures of color, we've come into believing by circumstances and events of our history and our walk that we don't know. We don't know who we are. It's not that we don't know. It's that we start believing that we don't know. We know. We've always known. We have come to a place where we need to realize that if we are going to heal, it's time to take the power. And with that power comes a responsibility to do it ourselves. I'm not coming in here to tell you what to do. I can't do that. That would be dishonoring. I'm not coming here to say, hey, this is what I have, and here's just one more thing that you should try to bring your story, your truth, your culture along. No, I'm coming in here to share with you something that, as a woman, as an African American woman, as a woman that believes so much in humanity, I'm coming to share with you something that I have discovered works. And is the only thing that I have discovered works. And my whole life has been a journey about finding what works. Why are we here? Why did we come to this planet? What is this life about? And if someone keeps telling me that it's because we have to suffer, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't see the point. I don't see the point for all of these human beings to converge in this one place called planet Earth just so that we can suffer and never understand why we're here. That is illogical. That makes no sense. But we have come to live and die and live and die, generation after generation, with just that piece of information and knowing no more and saying, well, we just can't know that. I beg to differ. Yes, we can know that. And not only can we know that, we must know that. I mean, if you just sit with yourself and get a sense of your life, where you're at, how you feel about yourself. We don't know that it is our birthright to feel love for ourselves. Love. And what is love? Love is basically integrity, honor, respect, being real, and telling the truth. Those are the 5 foundational aspects of love. Now, when we're taught about love on this planet, I've never heard of these. We talked about love in terms of need, love in terms of desire, love in terms of romance, love has always been a very conflicting energy because it asks an enormous amount of you and it takes an awful lot out of you. And the way that we've learned to be with love is a very, very uncomfortable relationship because love always abandons us. On some level or another, it's like a continuum. Whether it's a child leaving home and we feel abandoned, or a partner leaving, or a friend going away. Always because our love is based on being outside of ourselves, we always get disappointed. We always get hurt. We always get abandoned by love. And so generally when I relate to people, people don't feel that great about love. They don't have a sense that love is the energy, a medicine, a power, a walk, a knowingness, a beingness, who you are. You are beings of love. You're not beings of fear. Fear does not agree with you. Notice, we don't do well with fear. We're not making headway in our lives. Fear is working against us. And we're constantly trying to negotiate, constantly trying to say, well, if I do this, and if I'm a really good person, if I work really hard, if I make this amount of money, if I really raise my kids right, then can I have my life? Then can I have a day of happiness? Give me a day of happiness every 5 days, and I'll go for that. And we always realize that in negotiating with fear, we're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's like we don't just get to be. We're always up against something. It's like something on your back constantly telling you that you've got to do more, you've got to be more, and you're not good enough. So forget that. So it's like that's the basic premise, you're not good enough. And so you're constantly trying to make that change. But fear will continue to pull the rug out. And we live our whole lives having the rug pulled out. Our whole lives not being able to be. I didn't know what it meant to just be for 30-something years, probably 40 years. I didn't get to that place until in the last 7 years. But I'm 47, 46. I keep doing it. I don't know why I want to be 47, but I really do. I'm 46, okay? So the last 6 years, I have come to understand what it means to just be in my life, to be me. And I'm starting to realize I never even knew me. I was too busy negotiating with fear to get to know me and trying to satisfy everybody else whose needs. I have a beautiful son who I raised on my own. I had friends and families and jobs and bosses and people who need it. And I love human beings. So, and this isn't just my story. We're constantly distracted from ourselves because we don't know that there's a self that we have to attend to. We know that there are all kinds of people and things and schedules and events that we must show up for. But who shows up for us? Who takes care of us? Who takes care of you? You know? And to be taken care of in love with no fear, no, the other shoe's going to drop. No, if I say the wrong thing, I'm going to lose it. No, if I be myself, I'm not going to be accepted. With none of that, but to be taken care of in love. I don't believe that we can live a life with happiness and joy. I know that we can, without being taken care of in love.